From WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Charges are dismissed in a 2018 Rockford murder case. Prosecutors say a witness account does not line up with the evidence.
I believe I witnessed a murder.
Witnesses take the stand during former police officer Derek Shelvin's trial. They describe what they saw the day George Floyd died.
This expansion will not only give way to impressive new technology, it will also create jobs and economic opportunity for those who call Rockford home.
A state-line parts company that has a reach in outer space sets out on its biggest venture yet. Building the giant Magellan telescope will require a couple extra hands. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Murder charges are dropped against a man once accused of committing a triple shooting.
Winnebago County State's Attorney Jay Hanley announced the dismissal today. Quincy Wright had been charged in the 2018 shooting death of Shanquez Edwards and Kiara Nelson on 8th Street and Broadway. Another person was shot and survived. Hanley says evidence in the case contradicted testimony from the sole witness of the crime, who said Wright was the gunman and fired from a single position on the sidewalk.
These shell casings were strewn from about a block or a half a block south of Broadway to a block north of Broadway. And so this is far more consistent with what would be considered a drive-by shooting.
Wright has been detained for 2.5 years. He remains in jail on separate charges in another case for unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon.
Derek Shelvin's murder trial resumed in Minneapolis for a second day. The former police officer faces felony charges, including second-degree murder. Witness Donald Williams recalled George Floyd's final moments as he was pinned to the ground by Officer Shelvin. Prosecutors played the 911 emergency call Williams made, where he describes Floyd being in tremendous pain and says Floyd was not resisting. He said he felt the need to, quote, call the police on the police. Chauvin's defense team then had their chance to question Williams about his own actions during and after Floyd's arrest. One lawyer cited video depicting Williams mocking the police officers at the scene.
You called him a bum at least 13 times.
That's what you counted in the video?
That's what I counted.
And that's what you got, 13.
The jury also heard from the teenager who recorded the viral video of Floyd's arrest on her phone. She said she witnessed Floyd begging for his life. A public memorial service is held in Colorado for Boulder police officer Eric Talley. Dozens of law enforcement vehicles participated in Talley's funeral procession. The father of 7 was one of the first to respond to reports of a shooting at King Soopers grocery store last week. Talley and 9 others were killed. The accused gunman is back in court in late May.
One person is hurt after being hit by a semi-truck in an afternoon crash. This happened just before 2 at the intersection of Freeport and Center Roads. That's just south of Durand. Investigators say the driver of the pickup truck stopped at a stop sign, then proceeded through the intersection, but didn't have enough time to get through before being hit by a semi. Winnebago County Sheriff's deputies and Durand Fire responded to the scene. The driver was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. No one else was hurt.
State line election officials fire up the ballot counting machines as voters prepare to cast their votes.
Ari Bruckman joins us with more on preparations for the big day and why local elections are just as vital as state or national races. Ari?
Eric and Mimi, local elections are just 1 week away. 2 state line area officials tell me it's incredibly important to cast your vote.
The ability to vote is not only our right, but it is our responsibility as U.S. citizens.
Winnebago County voting machines were tested 1 week before the April 6th election to ensure all votes are counted correctly. 2 years ago, voter turnout was only at 8% for the local election. Winnebago County Clerk Lori Gummo says, regardless of the turnout, they will prepare as usual.
That's very disappointing. Despite the turnout, the election authorities, we still have to go to all the work and all the steps of providing the voters the option to cast their votes.
Since 2013, Julie Bliss tells me Boone County's highest voter turnout was only 24%. But she encourages voters to come out, saying every vote is extremely important.
We had to determine the winner of a race because it was tied by a coin toss. I mean, that was fantastic that we were able to do that, and that was very historical for Boone County. That hadn't happened before. But that just goes to show how important it is.
Bliss believes voter turnout is so low because some voters have a false sense of security.
I think a lot of times too, people have the concept that, oh, so-and-so has it wrapped up, I don't need to turn out. And that's not the case. That's often how people can lose.
Both clerks reassuring voters each vote will be counted correctly.
We're making sure that all the tabulators and the equipment is running properly so that, again, every voter feels confident and secure in casting their votes.
Polls will be open from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. next Tuesday. We will have all of the election results on our website, mystateline.com, that night. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Ari. Recent statistics show the opioid epidemic in Illinois is only getting worse. Nearly 3,000 people died of overdoses in 2020. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the state capitol. There was also a 48% increase in overdose deaths in the Hispanic and Latinx communities. The Illinois Senate held a hearing today to discuss what can be done to fight the problem. One idea involves treating people who overdose as victims of crime and prosecute those who are responsible for giving them the drugs.
We need to deal with this thing now because we have murderers walking our streets that are murdering people, literally murdering people. And then on a medical examiner's report that simply says it was an accident. It wasn't an accident. It was murder.
Most of the experts who testified at the hearing said they need more resources to help break the cycle. Some say while the state is strapped for money right now, it could be more cost-effective to slow the spread of fentanyl and opioids than to do nothing.
Although we think a State Line Manufacturing Company was shortchanged in this year's Illinois Makers Madness competition, workers there are still collaborating on some pretty cool projects.
Michelle Rave was at Ingersoll Machine Tools' groundbreaking ceremony as the company starts construction on its latest endeavor. Michelle, what can you tell us?
Ingersoll Machine Tools will be looking to tackle a project that's out of this world. The Forest City is going to have a major hand in helping create the Giant Magellan Telescope.
This is going to be the best thing built in Illinois in a long, long time.
Ingersoll Machine Tools is expanding. Its North Main facility in Rockford will grow by 40,000 square feet by adding 2 new buildings. The extra space is needed for a pair of major projects.
We're going to be installing a large 6-axis Ingersoll master mill gantry machine to support our work for the U.S. Navy. It will be the largest machine tool installed in the state of Illinois.
The other large project is the construction of a mount for the Giant Magellan Telescope.
The mount is an 1,800-ton structure that secures the 7 giant mirrors of the telescope. Each mirror is 27 feet in diameter. This is why we selected Ingersoll to build the telescope mount, which is the single largest component of the Giant Magellan Telescope. It is the heart and soul of the telescope. If the mount works, the telescope works.
CEO of Ingersoll Machine Tools, Chip Story, says this almost 10-year-long project will open the door to new job opportunities.
We're looking for mechanics, machinists, electricians, engineers, project managers. We've got a whole host of needs.
Although the company is in the early stages of the project, leaders say they're excited to make history.
The telescope will ship in 2027, and it'll take 2 years to install it in Chile. So it's a pretty long project. It's going to be a 10-year project for us from start to finish. Give humanity the chance to find answers to the origins of our universe and to whether life exists elsewhere in the universe.
Ingersoll CEO tells me they're looking to add 20 new employees by the end of 2021. More jobs will then be added as the project makes progress. Eric.
Exciting news on the local front. Thanks, Michelle. A deadline inches closer for Rockford Public School District parents to enroll their students in full-time in-person learning. K through 12 families have until next Monday to change their students' instruction status. Those currently opting for remote learning who want to go back to the classroom must notify their school's main office. Full-time in-person instruction is set to resume April 19th. That's when all faculty members who wanted to get vaccinated for COVID will have gotten both doses.
A gun control debate continues in Congress.
After the break, the White House weighs in on whether the issue lies with legislation or executive orders.
And helping people help themselves, that's the mission of one local woman. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll show you why Teresa Reverts is a remarkable woman.
And we made it back into the 60s today, but thanks to a cold front that moved through today, tomorrow will be much cooler. Find out how long until 60s return coming up in the forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team. with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Congress is gridlocked on gun control measures. The House recently passed 2 bills to restrict purchases.
But Washington correspondent Jessie Tenor says there'll be a tough sell in the Senate. She explains how the White House is considering what move to make next as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
We don't need more gun control. We need more idiot control.
And Louisiana Senator John Kennedy says he has a fix.
We need to restore the integrity of the database.
The National Instant Criminal Background Check System verifies whether a person can buy a gun. According to the FBI, the database ran more than 300 million checks over the past 20 years, leading to nearly 2 million denials. But Kennedy argues there are holes in the system.
The name of everyone who needs to be in the database is not in the database. And agencies that are responsible for sending in the names need to be made to do it.
His legislation would do just that, along with ensuring the Justice Department prosecutes people who try to buy guns illegally.
You know why we can't pass it? Because the Democrats vote against it.
The Democrat-controlled House instead recently passed 2 bills that would expand requirements for background checks, but they're unlikely to gain 60 votes in the Senate. Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the White House will continue negotiations with Congress.
We've seen an openness by even some Republicans to having a debate and a discussion. We'll take that.
But Psaki says President Biden is also considering executive orders.
Right now, we're working on a couple of levers.
They could include boosting current background check systems and regulating the sale of untraceable homemade weapons known as ghost guns.
We hope to have an update on that soon.
In Washington, I'm Jessie Tenor.
A few clouds and some wind, but that couldn't stop the state line from heating up today.
Kevin Doom joins us after the break with more on an upcoming dip in temperatures before the weekend, though. Stay with us.
Now your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Temperatures today were nice and mild for most of our day, but they are really starting to cool off here pretty quickly after reaching the lower to even middle 60s earlier this afternoon. Most of the area down to the 50s, with a few spots even dipping into the 40s. 58 currently in Rockford, still at 57 in DeKalb, down to 52 in Freeport, 49 in Monroe, 46 for a current temperature for those of you out in Galena. And this is because a cold front moved through just a few hours ago. And whereas we were seeing strong winds coming out of the southwest, pulling a lot of warm air into the state line, helping us get back into the 60s today. After that cold front moved on through, now our winds have shifted to westerly and northwesterly, and now we're getting a lot of cold air flowing into the state line. You can see winds still nice and strong for the time being, sustained wind speeds upwards of around 20 to 25 miles an hour across a few areas with gusts nearing 30 miles an hour still. And this cold air is going to keep on flowing here over the next several hours. We can see all the cold air situated up to our northwest, where these winds are coming from. Minneapolis already down to 37 degrees. Bismarck, North Dakota down to 29 degrees for this time of day. That's pretty cold. Now, temperatures aren't going to get quite that cold, but we're definitely going to notice a difference come tomorrow. Now, conditions going to remain pretty cold for tomorrow and for Thursday as a trough in our jet stream situated out to our west not only strengthens and dips further, but also positions itself right over the state line. That's going to keep the cold air flowing above the surface here down from the north, and that's going to help conditions to remain fairly cold as we head on through both tomorrow and for Thursday. But heading on to the latter part of the week and into the weekend, our jet stream shoots back up to the north, and that is going to help to warm things up here pretty quickly just in time for the end of the week. If you take a look at the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, you can see that confidence is very high that our temperatures will be well above normal over the next week or week and a half. So this cool down will definitely be noticeable, but it will be very short-lived. Here's a live look over the Rock River in downtown Rockford, where we've built up a little bit of cloud cover over the past few hours, but this cloud cover won't stick around all too long. If we look ahead with our future cast, or I should say, let's look at our satellite and radar first. This cloud cover is thanks to that cold front that moved on through, brought a little bit more moisture to our area, but thanks to sort of a lack of moisture, we're not going to see any rain as a result of this cold front. A little bit of rain pushing in areas down to our south, but that is going to remain confined to our south. Now let's look ahead with our future cast. The mostly cloudy conditions likely going to stick with us through the rest of the evening before clearing up quite a bit through the overnight. So we'll likely see some partly cloudy skies overnight tonight and through much of tomorrow as well. Maybe a few more clouds overhead for the evening. But come Thursday, the dry air is going to keep on flowing in, and that is going to give us some mostly sunny conditions for another cold day on Thursday. Now tonight we're going to drop down to near freezing. Most of the area probably even dipping below freezing. But temperatures tomorrow only going to get up into the lower 40s. Actually wouldn't even be surprised if a few spots fail to escape the 30s. But you can see that we are back in the 50s by Friday, shooting up to the middle to even upper 60s for Saturday. And at this point, 70s even look likely for Easter on Sunday.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
More NFL regular season action is coming our way. The owners have approved adding a 17th regular season game to the upcoming season and dropping one preseason game. The move makes great sense for the owners because it means more money, and it also gives the NFL a chance to add more international games to the schedule and market the league worldwide. It's great news for the fans. I mean, diehards can't get enough NFL action. Some would take it 52 weeks a year. The ones who don't like it are the players. That's one more game of pounding that they have to put their bodies through each season. They don't even get an extra bye week with this move to help their bodies heal. Teams will still have only the one bye week. So this is another sign to me that the NFL places more importance on money than it does on the health of its players. I don't blame the players for being upset. How much money do these billionaire owners need? And will the quality of games suffer now? There will be more injuries and more star players sitting out. And will some teams go the route to the NBA and start holding some banged-up players out of games here and there who might normally play just to give their bodies some time to recover? On the surface, this sounds like great news for NFL fans. It's easy to celebrate this when you're the one sitting on your couch or easy chair watching the games and your body isn't taking a beating. I'm with the players on this one. I'm against the 17-game regular season. Now, if you thought the Olympic Games had become too political, you probably won't like this. The U.S. Olympic Committee has decided to drop many of its restrictions on athletes protesting or demonstrating during the national anthem at the upcoming Olympic trials in this country. Sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos were the first to do it at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics with their fist raised. This scene could now become commonplace. The U.S. Olympic Committee will now allow athletes to raise their fist or kneel. The long-standing rule of punishment for those types of demonstrations will no longer happen. Some athletes want the opportunity to advance social justice causes. Other athletes are afraid that the statements will take the spotlight off the actual athletic achievements at the Olympic trials. Yeah, if you thought the Olympics had already become too political, you haven't seen anything yet. That's my take. We'll be right back.
As we look at our first warn interactive radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Cold front moved through just a couple of hours ago, bringing us an increase in cloud cover. However, the rain should stay away through the rest of the evening and through the overnight. Temperatures, though, really going to cool off very quickly here until they bottom out in the low 30s by early tomorrow morning. We're only going to warm up into the low 40s for both tomorrow and for Thursday. Mostly sunny skies, though, expected on Thursday right before temperatures start to climb again. We are back in the 50s for Friday, and then this weekend looking very nice as well. Upper 60s on Saturday, 70s looking likely on Sunday. All the while, we're expecting a very dry week. Our next good chance of rain doesn't even arrive until late Monday into Tuesday. Looks like we're staying in the upper 60s, even the 70s heading into the beginning of the week as well.
Not bad. Thanks, Kevin.
Stay safe.